We have on the phone with us our David Begnaud, who can perhaps shed some light on that. David, I know you attended that news conference by CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations, that was put on by the local Los Angeles area chapter. At that news conference, it was an interesting a moment there when we heard from the brother-in-law of Saeed Farook. Tell us what it is that we have learned.
Well, Elaine, before I do that, let me kind of set the scene for you. So at the office, the headquarters, which is in Orange County, California, the brother-in-law is behind closed doors. We're told that he is meeting with his lawyer, and he anticipates to meet with investigators tomorrow. They have been very forthcoming and open in providing information. Literally, he is behind a closed door. We knock on the door. We ask a question. They come out and they give us the information. Here's what we found out. Rizwan was born in Chicago, and he and his wife, Tafshin, he is married to Tafshin. They've been married for 2 years, and we're told by the brother-in-law that they live with Rizwan's mother. The brother-in-law says they have a 6-month-old baby girl who the brother-in-law says the couple left with Rizwan's mother today. Now, that, again, is what we're getting literally as we continue to ask questions. You can imagine, Elaine, you've got reports coming in from all over the country, specifically here, where there is a very large media presence with people chasing leads all over the place. So, again, that's the information that we're getting. Rizwan was married to Tafshin. They have a baby girl, and today the baby girl was left with Rizwan's mother.
All right, and to be clear, for our viewers who have been following along all night, our continuing coverage here, the name that was identified to us, to CBS News, was Saeed Farook. The name you hear David saying, Rizwan, that is, according to the police chief, as we heard just a moment ago, the same person, Saeed Rizwan Farook, just for a point of clarity.
That is correct, and thank you for doing that. As it was explained to us, Elaine, by the Council on American Islamic Relations, in the Islamic faith, in the Middle East, the name Saeed is as common as the name Smith. And so you will meet on the street a lot of Saeed. So this gentleman's name was Saeed Rizwan Farook. So they say that his name Rizwan was more of a middle name, but that's what he went by with his family. In public, he was known as Saeed. People who worked with him in San Bernardino County knew him as Saeed.
David, I'm curious, what else has the brother-in-law told you? What has he said about, his last interaction? When was the last time he talked to Saeed Rizwan Farook?
He told us that it was recently, but I'll tell you what's most interesting, Elaine, that we're sort of struck by, was the urge that he felt to be here tonight. So often in mass shootings, tracking down family members can be extremely tough because the last thing they want to do is speak publicly. Number one, because they're in shock. Number two, because they're defensive of their loved one. And number three, they may truly not want to interfere in an investigation. And that is what this man, the brother-in-law, appears to be struggling with. He doesn't want to get in the way of an investigation, right? But he also wanted to come here and say how profoundly sorry he is for what happened. There are reports, the LA Times is reporting that the suspect, Mr. Rizwan, was deeply religious. The brother-in-law did not want to speak to that today. He didn't want to answer many details about what he seen or heard from the suspect. We are still here, and we're trying to ask those questions. But, Elaine, as you can appreciate, we're trying to be – it's a delicate situation. He has nothing to do with the crime.
Of course.
He's here simply to say, we just want to say we're so sorry to these family members. And so we are asking questions without trying to bombard.
Sure.
But that's what we're getting so far. So, again, the woman who died, the man who died, were told by the brother-in-law, were husband and wife.
And David, I just want to make sure that I do understand here. So they have a child together. That child was left with Rizwan's mother. Is that the Redlands, California location that we are to understand where do you have any indication that that is where the family members, the extended family members are? anything at all from your conversation with the brother-in-law, whose name we should tell our viewers is Farhan Khan. Anything to kind of help understand the lay of the land and that might help give some context to the police actions today?
Elaine, I wish I could tell you. I don't know, but I'll tell you this, I'll find out. Literally, that's what we've been doing all night. We've been going back and forth, asking him a question, and he's been confirming. So I will find out for you. That's a possibility, but I simply can't say.
No, I really appreciate it, David. I'm also curious, though, with all of this information that you were able to get, has he spoken to law enforcement recently?
No. You're talking about the brother-in-law?
The brother-in-law.
No. And that's why he was quick to leave the podium, because he truly wants to be a part of the investigation. Now, you have to remember, it's a bit of a different because the suspects are deceased here, right? So there will be no criminal proceedings, there will be no court case, no arraignment, no jail. So here it's basically a fact-finding mission from this point forward, and getting answers for the people whose loved ones are now deceased. But despite the fact that it won't go through the court proceedings, this brother-in-law wants to be a part of the investigation. And he made it clear to us. He came here with the right intentions. He wanted to say that, yes, he is related to the suspected gunman, and he wanted to tell people how profoundly sorry he is.